Today we traveled from Forks, Washington to Port Angeles, Washington, which is about an hour and a half up the coast. And this was part of the drive, and it was just fantastic. We drove by this lake, Lake Crescent, and had to stop and take pictures of water and rocks and mountains.
She tried to take some through the windshield, but it just didn't work.
No, it was not it. So this is Crescent Lake in Washington, and it is stunning. Absolutely gorgeous.
And then got a picture of Scooter there sitting on the side of the road in a pull-off area. And then this is more of the trees and road. Nice road going up here. We're real close to Canada up here. And
You'll see a
then
map in here in a little bit.
this Jim made me pull off of the side of the road again to take more pictures. And then we had just happened to be right at one of the signs there for the Crescent
Right.
Lake Crescent.
I will say that this is not an alpine lake. I had to look it up. This is a glacial lake. Alpine apparently means something different, but this is a glacial lake. Just the greenery and the mountains
And then we got into town. Somebody told us we had to go to Robot Donut Company and had to try the Bavarian cream filled donut. I did it. Jen did the chocolate. I loved the Bavarian donut. It was great. And then we got to our campsite. Some kids had drawn that in their parking spot before we got there.
yeah,
And this is our campsite. The mountains you see across the ocean.
Bay,
Yeah, it's
river,
got to be
something.
ocean, but it's Canada over there.
Yes.
And we wanted to get here in time to do this. It's a
Tide
tidal
pools.
tide pools,
Yep.
where the tide goes out and leaves pools of water and leaves little animals from the ocean in on the tide on the pools. And I bet there was 50, 60 people out there looking at these little crabs and everything else. And you're not supposed. You saw the warnings earlier. You're not supposed to take anything or do anything with them. So
Disturb them at all.
disturb them at all. Jen's watching this one trying to fight for a shell.
Yeah, they were pretty cute. And there's a little sea star on that rock, that black thing. And this was just a picture of what all can be in a tide pool. There's a little piece of coral, I think.
Kind of middle to the left.
Yep, little white piece. And then this was the barnacles and the clams. There were a ton of clams.
Clam piles. I don't know what you call it.
I think you call them,
Covey.
I think you call them clam beds. There's
Yeah,
one
there you
right
go.
there.
Clam beds. There you go. And it was rough getting out there to this area. The rocks was rough. I had to hold Jen's hand pretty much all the way to get from one point to the other.
Yeah, it was
And you're walking on that seaweed. What is it?
kelp,
Kelp.
and there was a grass on there too. It was not fun. And this is
The little
this
orange thing.
yeah, this red flat looking thing is a sea cucumber. Apparently they flatten themselves when they're resting. And a lady was out there. She's actually a camp host here at the park and told us that. And these black things are chitons, and they were all over the place, on rocks, in the water, halfway in the water, halfway not. There's some chitons and some sea urchins, the purple sea urchins.
That's a starfish right there.
Yep, and the red is a sponge. There's a she was picking the starfish up.
Some kids were there turning over rocks and leaving a starfish out of water, so they were going to die. So she was actually going around putting them back in the water.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty sweet. That bottom was a bottom of a chiton, that green, that orangey.
There's a big starfish.
Yeah, more
sea urchin and clams.
And clams.
Lots of sea urchins right there. That may be a photo.
That's a pretty cool picture. Another sea star that was in the water. She didn't have to save him. Another sea urchin. I was trying to get a really good picture of a sea urchin and never really quite got it. There they are on the side of a rock. And this was just rocks, I guess. I don't know what I was trying to show you.
Then we found a little tunnel.
Tunnel?
arch.
whatever you call that.
And of course, when the tide's up, you can't go through it. But it's a small one. We both had to go get our pictures taken in it.
Of course.
You know, selfies. And this is showing you just how many clamshells there are laying around on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it was just...
That's rocks.
That's rocks, but over to that little arch, we had to walk all through clamshells. It's a good thing we had good shoes on.
There you go. That's a pretty picture.
That, I think, is also a piece of coral, I think. There's me in the little tunnel. And this was a deeper tide pool, and there's actually a sea urchin, not a purple one that you can't really see. Raymond got that shot. That's a good one.
Kind of a little island that's there when the water's up.
Yep. And Raymond was trying to get something silvery here.
Right in the middle. And then this thing is moving. It showed, I got a video of it.
Originally, we thought it was a clam, but then I think it's like a fan coral, maybe. I don't know my sea life. I'm sorry.
And then I tried to come back to that glowing. It had a brightness to it, illumination. You can see the kind of shiny there in the middle, and bottom, middle left. I don't know what it was, but
it was hard to capture.
It had a glow to it.
It did. It was a little silvery. Kind of interesting.
We need to go back and get a picture when the tide's up.
Good luck.
And this is kind of the point out there. There were people out there earlier.
Yeah.
This is part of the campground. And this is a map showing you where we are. Across the river there, or across the inlet or bay or whatever is Canada.
Yep.
Canada on the other side. I don't think I can swim it. I have swam 3.6 miles before, but I don't think I can swim it.
You are not telling your Ironman story right now.
I just wait.
And this was just more road.
And then we got to Walmart and we saw this mountain range in the background that had snow on it.
Yeah.
And we had heard there's snow on Mount Olympus.
Right.
And we was actually at a souvenir store, and there was 4 people there who just come down off of the top of Mount Olympus. They did not cross the glacier though. They stayed on the side, not crossing the glacier. Right. The lady in there, she was about 75, 80 years old. She had pictures on the wall where she was 20 years old doing that same trail. I thought that's pretty neat. They were talking about their hike, their adventures on that mountain. And this is where we're at for the next, 3 nights?
2 nights. Well, 3 nights. Yes, you're right.
3 nights. Yeah. So Jen's got a load of stuff for us to do. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
If you enjoyed our video, please select the subscribe and the like button below to get to our next